Welcome to the future.
Who's this clown?
Not clown. Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark.
Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poisons, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow. What a week. Right in the middle of it. Right in the middle of the slurp. What up?
Casa advertisement.
What up, YouTube? It is Two Fat Guys Pull Us Live. It is issue 94. Okay, good. See, because last week you were like, really? 93? Like, you did that whole thing. You're like,
I
this
was
is the
literally
93.
thinking it in my head, but I was like, still trying to finish my drink. So
Every episode it's gonna be like, really? I thought Anyway, welcome everyone. If you're joining us live, make sure to say hello in the chat. Let us know that you're live. What up, Rich? He's doing his job already. If you're watching this as a past episode, make sure to leave a comment down below. Say hi. Let us know what you read this week. What was your pick of the week? Obviously, chat, you know what to do. Let us know what your pick of the week was. So once we get done with all our business, we can break down y'all's pick of the week, and then we can run down the week. Anyway, let's talk about some business. First of all, we got to talk about our show's sponsor, Collected Comics and Games, here in the DFW area. That is our LCS here. And yeah, they sponsor our show. What we'd like you to do is head on over to their website, which is brainycomics.com. And over at brainycomics.com, we'd like you to, you can buy exclusive and variant covers of comic books. You can get bundles, bad idea books, new comic books, mystery bags, back issues, graphic novels, games, toys and collectibles, and trading cards. So head on over to Brainy Comics, pick up some of that stuff, and then when you're done, before you decide to leave, before you hit that cart, type in Two Fat Guys Pool List in the search bar, and 2 upgrades will appear in your search. You'll have a Two Fat Guys Pool List upgrade. It's a standard upgrade, which gets you a mystery exclusive comic cover for $8 in your cart as well when you get whatever you buy. And if you do the premium for $15, you get 2. Now you're probably asking, Jim, what do those covers look like? Well, I can show you. If you go to the front page, all of the exclusives, not all of them, but there's a select by added date here on the front page of all the exclusive covers that you may potentially get when you do a Two Fat Guys Pool List upgrade or premium upgrade. So you can go to the exclusive and variant covers tab, check out all the comics Ron's got there, and there's a potential to get one of those or 2, depending on which upgrade you do, in your box or in your cart. So head on over to brainycomics.com, do some shopping, type in the Two Fat Guys Pool List upgrade, put it in your cart, see what you get, tag us on Instagram when your package comes in if you did it, and so we can see what you got, because we'd love to see it, because it's a pretty cool program. So that's the first bit of business. The second is as you all know, if you're already subscribed, you know that we're in the middle of a Milestone Giveaway. So if you're watching this for the first time, you're going, Jim, what's a Milestone Giveaway? Well, we're trying to give away a slab at every 150 subscriber milestone that we hit. We're trying to get to 750 subscribers. I've been kind of sitting at 670. So, we give them 73, 70, 71. We've been kind of hovering there. So we need y'all to push. Okay? We need to get to 650 subscribers, because when we get to 650, we're giving away this bad boy. This 9.4 CGC graded Silver Surfer Black issue number 1, second printing, Knoll on the cover. Pretty hot book, pretty sweet book. We're going to give away at 750 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, give us a like. You know what to do. We need your support. We have your support. We need more of it. And obviously, when we hit 1,000, you know it. You know the deal. It's in every one of our videos. We're giving away the CBCS graded 9.8 Original Sin Amazing Spider-Man number 4 first appearance of Silk.
Maybe. We haven't decided yet. Maybe.
We're giving it away. So when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'd love to give that away, but we got to hit 1,000, and we'd like to hit 1,000 before the end of 2022. So let's make it happen, Captain. Hit that subscribe button, and let's get to the show, shall we? So, this week, actually, let's hit the chat here really quick before we even get into the week.
Calvin, long time no see, man. How you doing?
What up, Calvin? Rich, what's up? Patty, how you doing?
Oh, hey.
Empire, what's up? Hey, guys, this week sucked for me, but looking forward to this.
Hey, before we go, Empire, I owe you an apology. I went to the shop this week to pick up both copies to read the Pride issues, and the shop was sold out.
Oh,
completely.
no.
And I didn't want to bum it off the internet, so I already have them waiting for me at another shop. I've called them and asked them to hold them for me. So I will be still reviewing those, just not today.
Books flew. Empire. Wait, hold on. You said this week sucked for me, but looking forward to
maybe
this at least. Hey, man, maybe you'll like our reviews, because I thought this week was pretty good. Average Joe, what's up? Hello, comic fam. Sorry to miss last week. Was spending Father's Day with the kids. So happy late Father's Day.
Unacceptable. We're your children, Joe. What
Seriously.
the hell?
Hey, we took Eric. I'm not going to go there. We are glad that you're here, Joe.
Yeah.
Calvin, yep. I want the book. Yeah, you do. Joe, I'm give this week a solid A. My pick of the week was Maestro issue number 4, and ASM was a close second with Moon Knight. Ooh, good. But Flash is my DC pick of the week. Okay. Nice. I didn't read Flash. I know you did.
I did.
So kind of, using Average Joe as a springboard, I would give this week, in my opinion, an A+.
Oh. I'd
give it an A+, and here, I'll give you the breakdown before we actually get into the books. So, here we go. So, out of the books that I had, A+, right here.
No, can't do that. No.
A+.
You can't do that. I'm leaving.
A.
I'm revolting.
That's fine. Solid B. Solid A.
Oh, Jesus. Empire, you're right. That's
A+.
Can of worms.
A+.
D.
S.
F. F minus.
A+.
Literally, you're taking all of the fun out of this.
Solid A. B minus. A+. So it's an A+ week for me.
You literally just told him your pick of the week.
I don't know. I might not pick it.
It can't not be. You can't give it the highest grade and it not be your pick of the week.
Yeah, I can. I can do whatever I want. This is my show.
Well, I'm saying you can't, so.
Okay, so what was the week for you? A D?
I'm not doing that. That takes the fun out of it.
We always do that at the beginning of the show.
No, we don't.
I'm talking to the floating head here. What did you say, Empire? I'm sorry, man. Real Rodishes. You know what I mean. Enough said. Comics were great. Okay, we got you. Empire. I'm glad we can be here as an escape to those issues. We're glad to be here. We're glad you're here. We're glad that every single one of you are here to listen to us talk about comic books and give a rating for the week. Are you going to come back now? Do I need to apologize? Is that going to make your fat face come back and appear on the screen?
No.
Nate, come on now. Thank you. Come on, dude. Oh my God. Anyway, let's jump into the week. We always talk about our X books at the beginning of the week, and we're going to kick it off with Immortal X-Men issue number 3.
Beautiful.
Yeah, right? Chef's kiss. Last, hopefully you jump in, because we need you here, because I want to know exactly what you think about this. Hopefully Last will pop up here in a bit. I've said this since issue 1, and I know it was a very bold claim on issue 1, but I believe we have the second coming of Hickman here in Karen Gillan.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is I feel like not only is he building a foundation for his current event that's about to pop up in the summer, but for the X Office in general, right? With Hickman, he laid a foundation, he set a roadmap, and then he did most of it. And I put that in quotation marks. And I feel like Karen Gillan is kind of doing the same thing, but he's also leaving himself wiggle room. And that wiggle room is Destiny, right? So with her powers, she sees a general future, right? Like she sees
we get a pretty damn good portrayal. What's the word I'm looking for?
Interpretation.
Interpretation of the way she sees the visions and the
Right.
futures and stuff.
That's what made.
I
think that's what made this issue for me, was literally that. It was like, hey, this isn't necessarily a strict roadmap of where we've been and where we're going. It's more of, we could go here, and I'm going to let you play with that idea, which we've been doing with Hickman, right? We see something like, oh my God, I can't wait until we get this. And it hasn't even been confirmed that we're going to get this, but oh my God, it's probably going to happen. And that was our fault, right? Like we were like, man, so-and-so's coming back and we're doing all this stuff, and it never happened. With Kieran Gillen, he's like, no, that could happen. It could happen. I don't know. We'll see. How long? Hey, if you keep buying the book, then yeah, maybe it'll happen. You know what I mean? And I think the other thing that I liked, and I hope show the panel of her actually dreaming of the potential realities. That page was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
My jaw dropped whenever I saw the spaceship that was literally powered by Shaw's flesh.
Yes.
By his meat.
Yes.
It was literally kinetic energy that was stored inside grown muscle of a long dead man. Literally meat. It was a meat spaceship.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that, and then when she wakes up to the dream and she sees like the Sinister Wars or whatever it's called, where everyone's a Sinister clone.
That was great. Yeah, that was great.
That panel is just amazing. Yeah, like there's just a lot going on, and I love it. And he even like pissed some people off with the Phoenix being in the very lower edge corner. Like, no, don't do that. But I loved it. I loved to see that he's still kind of fucking with the with the readers and the fans. Overall, what I loved about this was that it was purely through Destiny, which, I think we've all had question, like, how is this going to work? How is a precog going to exist on Krakoa and not know the final outcome? And we got the answer. We got the answer from Karen. I think he did it beautifully, where he showed multiple realities, but in what he showed us, it's kind of a role reversal, right? So when Destiny was let go, or when she was killed off, Mystique was left, right? And she was left to try to bring her back or live her life out without Destiny. And what we get at the end of this issue is, inevitably, it looks like Mystique is going to die and Destiny's going to be alive. How does that play out? We don't know. But overall, I remember when we started reading Eternals, I really liked it, but it was definitely an adjustment for me, because it was so wordy, and we hadn't had really a very lengthy, wordy issue in a long time, or in our pool. And I feel like Eternals has really transitioned my view of very wordy, lengthy issues fairly positively. And so I am absolutely loving this run, and we're only 3 issues in, and I think Kieran Gillen is off to the races right now. And I think we can crown him. I absolutely believe right now, 3 issues in, we can crown him the unofficial head of the X Office. And I hope he doesn't go anywhere for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that that's pretty much exactly what's happening here. That he's the head. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of really good implications for the future in this book. This book feels the most Hickman era, and I'm kind of tired of referring to it that way, but I just don't know any other better way. This issue felt the most Hux Poxy that we have had post Inferno, and so I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed it. I think the biggest thing that Kieran Gillen needs to do, though, is deliver on some of these things. Like,
Agreed.
It's really cool to say, whoa, look at all the horrible things that could happen. It's like blowing your mind, and then none of it really happens. And that's what Jonathan Hickman did to us. And so I just don't want I just don't want that to happen again. I don't want I don't want it to be a show pony, but it turns out it was just an empty the whole time.
Well, I will say this. I think he can do it in a masterful way, like he did in this issue, right? So if you look at the dream, and then you go into the actual map that he has. One of the visions is Exodus on top of a hill or on a mountain, and everyone's kind of praising him, or they have their hands up in the air, kind of like, I wouldn't say worshiping him, but they're following him, right?
Yeah.
And then if you cut to, and I'll get to this other point that I have, you get to the roadmap with the visions, with the actual wording, and then that specific vision is almost completely flushed out with Exodus going after Essex, and he's like a freaking, Phoenix god, and he crushes he eats Sinister. Yeah. I'm not saying that's the best way to do it, but he did flush out one of those scenarios, right, in 2.5 pages.
Oh no, I completely disagree.
You disagree?
That is not flushing out one of those scenarios at all. I mean, some of this shit's got to happen.
I'm not saying it won't, but what I'm saying is, if he does it like that, where you give us 3 to 5 pages, because she's living out all these scenarios, because she's trying to figure out where Sinister. Because in this book, we obviously find out that she's trying to figure out if Sinister knows that she knows that he knows, that whole bullshit. So if we get that, I wouldn't be upset about it. And if it gets drawn out throughout the entirety of the series, I'm cool with it. But at the same time, the other side of the token, that dream sequence and that roadmap would lead you to believe that we're going to have one, if not two, mini to major events outside of Judgment Day, right? Like, that's, you would assume, right? This was kind of like a Marvel 1000 kind of issue. At least that's how we're interpreting it. It remains to be seen if it's actually going to happen.
Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is I need some of the other members of the council or something to like live these. It's almost like,
I see what you're saying.
These experiences are just happening to her in her head, and it just really doesn't feel like a lot. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Joe said, "I'm glad to see some foreshadowing for Judgment Day when she walked out saying a war is coming." Yeah, I completely agree. I like that there was some shading to that. One more thing before I get back into chat. I looked down at this panel. I love how many. I don't know whose idea this is. If this is Kieran Gillen or if this is Wernick or who it is. But throwing these amazing throwbacks like this panel of Kitty Pryde going, that's a real Professor Xavier is a jerk kind of shit, which is a throwback to one of the most infamous panels of all time of Uncanny X-Men. Back in the early 80s probably. It's literally her in that exact pose pointing at him saying, "You're a jerk, Professor Xavier." I literally saw that and died laughing. I was like, this is the best throwback to old school Claremont readers. I don't know, I just thought that was a lot of fun.
Glass says, now having Destiny and Sinister have this silent chess game in the background is amazing. I totally agree. And I love that Destiny literally figured out that he's been cloning Moira, right? And I hope this chess match goes on for a while. I hope it doesn't get nipped in the bud, right after Judgment Day. I think this needs to be the pushing force in a majority of the Immortal X-Men, because that's a big deal. And if we just deal with it in one issue, like, oh, we got rid of the clones, and she kind of made that point, right? She's like, I can't let him know, otherwise he'll destroy this universe and we're off to the races again. So I think the weight and the emphasis on that whole idea will be drawn out. Hopefully, I think it will be. Blindfold is around still, by the way, Calvin.
Calvin, yeah, Blindfold is in the Legion of X book. We missed some earlier.
Yeah.
Rich said, I wasn't able to pick up ASM 4 until yesterday. Haven't been able to read it. Same here. I actually wasn't able to get a copy because I'm not subbed to it, but I'm still because issue 3 was so good. So we won't be reviewing it, but I might tack it on to next week's if it's just as good.
Did you see Joe's comment?
I'm getting there.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Joe, I picked up issue 5 this week, but I have actually only read the first 2 issues. Since we weren't reviewing it on the show, I just was letting it finish out and was going to read the whole thing. But I'm glad you liked it, and I've been on the fence for the Genisvel series, so I like that's got you in the mood because I need a little push that way. Calvin Mark Books is doing so many covers, and they're all gorgeous.
Amazing.
I'm not getting tired of them. You know whose covers I am getting tired? Lionel Francis Yu. I'm so tired of his covers.
You're serious?
I'm being dead serious. I'm so freaking tired of seeing. I don't want to see another cover from him for the rest of my life. I'm being dead serious. It's not even that his art is bad. I'm just fucking tired of it. I'm just so tired of it.
Don't. Okay.
I mean, it's totally subjective. Totally subjective.
Yeah.
I looked at it and was like, fuck, I do not want to see this dude's art ever again. If they came out right now, like if tomorrow they said Immortal X-Men is being, Warnock is off and Lionel Francis Yu is in on interiors, I would genuinely think about not picking up the book. That's how much I don't want to see his art right now.
So you hate him as much as I hate John Romita Jr.'s artwork?
No.
Okay. The Jets.
Last said, I loved Immortal, but it creates something that I find a bit hand wavy. The way Sinister was used was both smart, and it seems to give an out to some storylines. It felt like an X-Men multiverse. I think that's exactly what they're kind of doing. Don't you know this is the time of the multiverse? The more multiverse, the better.
Yeah. Secret
Wars 2015 was just for pretend. Now we're back to more multiverses than ever before.
Plus the movie, it'll come out in like 6 years. It's coming.
Also, the data sheets are no longer thought-provoking, informative, necessary. I'm finding them hit or miss too. That was the one thing I was pretty clingy to. Was like, this particular issue didn't have one, but like I think there's a couple in here that are a little.
I think Al Ewing is probably in the current office. Al Ewing is using or utilizing them the best, I would say.
Yeah. Well, he's
Joe, I'm new to this X-Men era. Why is Charles so hated? Wasn't he like a mutant god to mutants? Explain.
So, Charles Xavier being a good guy and thought of in a positive light, I think one has to do with the era of X-Men you started reading in, or if you were a TV show animated series person first. And I also think it has to do with the context that you were reading them in. If you were reading Uncanny Claremont as a younger person, I don't think you really thought of Xavier as much of an asshole. But if you're an adult, you're looking at this guy like just fucking around with kids and using them as like bait, and then the second his like alien girlfriend shows up and is like, yo, you want to go fuck in space? He's like, deuces kids, we out. And then you don't see him for like 50 issues, and he puts his arch nemesis Magneto in charge of them. Like, dude's kind of always been an asshole. But for this particular era of X-Men, he's been really shady. So him and Magneto and Moira hid a ton of stuff from the Quiet Council. I mean, that's essentially what it is, right? They
Can somebody clip this monologue, please? I'm serious. Someone clip this. Because I want to put it on TikTok and just be like, why Charles is an asshole. And I'm just going to put that first part that you... Please, Jaden or any mod, Jaden or anybody else, please clip that. That was amazing.
Jaden's the only mod.
Okay, yeah, okay, Jaden, please.
Anyway, this particular era, it basically has to do with because of him, Magneto, and Moira hiding shit from the council, essentially. I mean, that's just to make it easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
I think Les did a good job too. Charles got tired of being nice, and he saw decades of losing against humanity. Yeah, in the Hawksbox, definition, absolutely 100%. Either way, did you have something else to say?
No, it's
okay. Immortal X-Men, amazing. Keep it going. Almost my pick of the week. A+.
It's my Marvel pick of the week.
Oh, okay. Knights of X issue number 3. I mean, it was a solid issue, but comparative to everything else that I read this week, it was just okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. I did like. It felt like this issue, because I felt like issue 2 was kind of like where it was kind of discombobulated. We were kind of cutting between teams, and this one felt more. It felt more genuinely in the flow, if that makes any sense. It didn't feel like we were jumping to scenario. Like everything flowed correctly to get to the end of the book, in my opinion. That's just me.
I loved this book. I thought it was just as good as Immortal X-Men. But for totally different
reasons. Got it.
I think both are doing exactly what they want, and I think both are doing it incredibly well. This book did it better than last issue. Last issue sort of went whoop, and then this one I think brought it right back. Yeah. Immortal X-Men is this big, giant, heady book, and it's all about concepts and ideas, thought-provoking, and just world building and all this big picture stuff. And like we've said before, every time we review this book, This is just Tinny Howard saying, what if I took characters that are mutants and wrote a really awesome fantasy quest story? And that's it. We're not worried about what's going on in Krakoa. We're not worried about the mutant shit as a whole. All we're worried about is a fantasy story in Otherworld, and that's it. And if you're okay with that, this is a phenomenal book to me, especially this issue. If you're not okay with that, which I think it is okay to be frustrated by that, then it's probably not a very good book, and you probably feel like it's a waste of time. I had a lot of fun with this book. I thought it was really good seeing the team split up. They were literally going on 2 different quests. They achieved their quests, and then they got back together. I thought it was really interesting seeing Saturnine and I can't remember the
Merlin's
daughter.
Let's just say Merlin's daughter. I don't remember. It's like Merlin's start with an M.
Yes.
Or S.
I don't remember now. Doesn't matter.
Her.
Them two, they're watching over Shogo and telling him that someone's gonna die, and I was like, oh, okay, probably not. And then of course the issue ends with it seeming like Gambit sacrifices himself to possibly take out Merlin. Of course he's not going to, because that's not how we're not ending on issue 3. But
yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun. We got a lot of we're getting stuff brought back up in so many different threads that I think have been left kind of dangling, that aren't necessarily, again, really important to Krakoa, but I'm sure you were excited to see some more magic talk with
I was just about to say
with Richter and Apocalypse. I thought the reemergence of Apocalypse's son, seeing him in the vampire area, I thought that was great. I'm ready for him to be back.
Well, that's what I was about.
One way or the other.
That's what I was about to say. Is last you say I'm not a fan of the D&D. Feels disconnected main series. I would just say we said it in the first issue, and I think Tinny Howard, because Tinny Howard liked writing Apocalypse, right? She loved writing Apocalypse in Excalibur, and then he went away. He rode off into the sunset, right? And he is mentioned so heavily in this issue, whether it's in data pages or by Richter. I just have a feeling that he is the one that is going to, quote unquote, save Otherworld, or get Saturnine back into the tower, or he might just be the one. He might end up taking over Otherworld. I don't know.
I almost wonder if that might be more likely.
That he takes over.
Yeah, that positions him in more of an ambiguous good guy, bad guy situation.
Correct.
Instead of just being off the board.
Yeah. I think he's coming. I think he's coming. So
I think also we're slowly getting a little bit more hints into what's going on into the final area of Otherworld that we don't know with Mr. M and Mercator or whatever it is.
Yep.
And then I really enjoyed the little the nice little one-on-one moments that we had between characters. Shatterstar and Richter got a nice little sentimental moment, and so did Betsy and Rachel. I thought that was really sweet. I like that. I know I'm biased because I love fantasy and I really like these characters, and I love like English history and Arthurian legends and stuff. So I totally have a bias coming into this book. But I think you're right. I think what's going to happen probably with this book is almost exactly what happened with Ten of Swords. Is the first half of this book is going to be probably pretty nondescript within the overall big picture of Krakoa, this era of Destiny of X. But then once we get to the big event and we're talking magic and Apocalypse, we will have known because we were reading Knights of X, but everyone else is going to be like, whoa, where did this come from? And it's going to be big and involved and have something to do with it.
I agree. I totally agree. I don't think they'll waste it last. I really don't. I think Apocalypse is on his way, and whether it's him in charge of Otherworld or he just comes back because of whatever threat is just that monumental against Krakoa, he's coming back. So, and it's gonna be in this book.
Before I forget, I've been meaning to bring this up. Let me go on a really obscure, quick tangent.
Okay.
I think we need to give, and you and I already give Kieran Gillen a lot of credit. But I think the X readers in general should probably give this guy a little bit more credit. And I think the reason why we don't have Marvel going out there and showboating Kieran Gillen like they did Hickman, because they realize that if it doesn't work, it'll probably be less of a considered failure because they didn't go out there and so Kieran Gillen's this is the Gillen era and everything's gonna be great. I think they're just quietly saying dude's in charge and like letting it happen. And the biggest reason why I'm saying this, and I think that these writers are working together, is Kieran Gillen had a podcast that he used to run back 8 to 10 years ago, even longer, that he brought back again just when he started taking over Immortal X-Men. And the only guests he has had on the show are other X creators. Al Ewing, Teenie Howard, Jerry Duggan, and I think Alyssa Wong was on there, who is writing some issues in New Mutants. We have a couple of issues of New Mutants that are going to be oversized, and she's writing backup stories in them. Okay. And so far, he is literally only talking to and hanging out with X people. I think this team is a lot more on board than we think.
That is being pushed out there.
Than we're being told.
I think that's smart. Wasn't Teenie in charge of Trial of X Magneto? No, it was Leia Williams.
And Leia Williams was not yes, but she was not in charge of it. Trial of Magneto was only supposed to be an arc inside of X Factor.
Correct.
Then Marvel Editorial canceled X Factor on her, told her to rewrite Trial of Magneto, and that they were making it to be its own miniseries, and that she needed to extend it out by 2 issues. So, if you're going to blame that on anyone, blame it on Editorial. Not on her.
I agree. Joe says, I wonder if the mutants that die on another universe can be brought back to life on the 616 Earth. And Calvin says, isn't that what happened to Wolverine and Darwin when those two in sync were on the mission for years? I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. When they were in the vault.
Love Kieran Gillen on the X-Men run. It was fun, but I don't think it was deep enough to carry for several years. He had a lot of cool concepes, but not as good as Hoxpox. I don't know. I did not read
the building blocks he has now, though.
He has the foundation of Hoxpox, and you can clearly see not only Karen, there's some other writers that are starting to use that Hoxpox foundation finally in story arcs that we've been waiting for, and we'll get to that. But as for Knights of X, I think you're totally right. It's a really awesome. I'm in my own lane, but hey, by the way, there's these little things that if you're really paying attention, I believe will have some ramifications within the Destiny of X and X Office in general, and I think that's because Apocalypse is coming back. Just saying. Yeah. New Mutants, issue number 26. I liked this issue. I liked it a lot. I liked that we're still foreshadowing that Magic is still kind of jacked up because she's lost her soul sword. But the thing for me that really carried this issue was Old Lady Magic and just her attitude. And how do I say that? I say it only because this is what I know. This is another issue this week that had a Donny Cates moment, right? And that is Old Lady Magic without a soul sword, but she's using Warlock as her sword. And that just feels like a Donny Cates move. And Calvin, I agree with you. I love this cover. I like it. It's a really nice cover. I don't know. I thought it was a good issue. And then I love that, we had some resolution, but then in a data page, not so much, and I thought that was kind of neat. It was actually used fairly well in this instance in New Mutants. The thing that there's a disconnect for me in this run right now. Like, I like it, but I just want to know where we're going with it. Are these fairy tale pages where it's the goblin? You know what I mean? It's like it's the representation of our characters. Mm-hmm. But then in the first issue, the 25th issue, it was kind of shown that that goblin is writing the story. So I just need a little bit more connection with those pages, and I'm sure we'll get it. But if there was one critique, that was it. I mean, everything else I thought was great.
The art on those pages are so goddamn good.
Yeah, no, they're good.
Those pages in particular are so good.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, that the story that they're presenting is a little abstract.
It feels disconnected at the moment. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What up, Ronnie?
I feel very fortunate to have just within the past year read the Magic and Storm miniseries and then Inferno, the original Inferno and stuff, because I feel like all of this stuff is so pertinent to that continuity that having that super fresh in my head is really nice. Sometimes I literally have to tell myself, like, wait, didn't we just fight Sin and all this shit? It's like, well, no, that was actually written 40 years ago. But like, yeah. As a matter of fact, at the end of Inferno, the original Inferno, the teenage Magic that grew up in Limbo sacrifices herself in a mysterious way so that the alternate universe younger version of herself who hasn't experienced the years in Limbo can survive. And so when we saw the old version, at first I thought, oh shit, what if it's that version of Magic that's just stayed behind forever? And of course that had to get ruined pretty quickly because it wasn't, because this version of the old Magic also went in with her friends and saw these friends die. So it's not the same one. That's okay. But I just like this story. I like this little bit of a redemption story for Madeline. I like that I really hope that this is going to be a reset for Magic as a character. Because...
Well...
What?
I think you're right, but also remember, again, if we go back to Immortal X-Men, in the dream sequence page, there is a version of Magic that is an all-out demon slaying people on Krakoa. So, like, and there's even a mention of it in the actual dream roadmap of Magic. So, like, again, and I'm just going back to your talking point.
Right. I forgot about that.
Just going back to your talking point about how Karen Gillan is kind of hanging out with everybody. Like, I think this stuff is much more interconnected than we really think. I think we're gonna. The one thing I really loved about Hoxpox, and when that era was going on, was being able to go back in the material, whether it was the hardcover or the floppies, and be like, "Oh shit, I remember that panel," and it was literally a panel from a page that was only one part long. I think we're getting that. I think we're literally seeing that right now. And last, you're saying like I need more interconnectivity. I think it's coming. I really do. And it's granted. Karen Gillan and the X Office and Marvel are asking for a lot of faith within its readers to say, look, we get it. We sold you a bunch of books. Come back. And we could be wrong. In 6 months, we could be sitting here going like, what the heck is going on? Like it very well will happen. But as of right now, New Mutants, Vita Ayala, Karen Gillan. I'll even say it, and I know you're going to disagree with it, and that's okay. Even Gary Jerry, I feel like, is starting to get a redemption in that respect. I feel like we're starting to refocus. I feel like everyone's like, all right, here's the playbook, and they're all trying to learn it. And we'll get to Gary Jerry. But as for New Mutants, I'm right there with you. This is a really cool story. I didn't know where it was going to go, and as we continue to dive deeper into it, I'm digging the hell out of it. Yep. Let's see. Joe says, I would like the X-Books to have their own unique tones to their books. I feel like all of them are too serious at times, in my opinion. No, it's fair. Calvin, there should be an Infernal X-Men. Am I saying that right? Infernal. No. There are a few mutants that are associated with hell. Okay. There was someone said something that I had a thought, but I think I literally. Oh, there it is. No. Last, he said, I want to see anyone give me the drawbacks to resurrection. I can't be the only one frustrated by this insane concept that has zero drawbacks. I actually had that thought the other day. And it calls back to Karen Gillan's Eternal run, right? When they get resurrected, it's not like, they're just resurrected. They actually take a life from Earth, right? And that was the whole concept behind it, was at the beginning that Icarus had to save this boy, and he had a dream that he would be the end all be all of this boy, and he didn't realize, he couldn't figure out why. And then he ended up being the reason why he died, because when he was resurrected, that boy lost his life for Icarus to be resurrected. I'm not saying that that's going to be the exact same, but I do believe, Last, that we will get something like that in
the end of
somewhere, whether it's right in front of us right now in the next 6 months, or if we're going to get it towards the end of the Krakoan era. I totally believe that there will be this like, oh, and by the way, every time you resurrected something, an angel lost its wings, right? And and that'll be another notch in people hating Xavier, and it'll come out that Xavier knew the entire time. Some bullshit like that. You know what I mean? Like, and the Krakoa era will end in a total just turd of a mood. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think. I could be wrong, but you never know. All right, let's get to Gary Jerry's X-Men issue number 12 with Pepe Larraz on the cover and the absolutely beautiful interiors. What? No, you go ahead. You know what?
No,
I want you.
No. I literally, no, I'm
nope,
not going to.
Nope. I want you. No, because you know that I'm just going to gush over this book. So please.
I don't have much to say. I just don't like. I don't have much to say. I feel like the storyline with the girls was rushed a lot. I just feel like it was like, haha, just tricked you. Boo, we fixed it all. We're done.
Right, but we were complaining in the last issue that would have never happened. Right? In the last issue, everyone was upset that, like, well, Wolverine wouldn't have been taken out that way. Jean Grey wouldn't have been taken out that way. Like, all of them, they're way too smart for that. And then he proved it in this issue.
Yeah, yes, that's true. But I still
no, but you feel it rush. I don't argue with that. I see what you're saying.
Also, Pepe dropped the ball big time with this right here. What is he doing to my man? Why is he trying to make my man evil?
Who?
That's awful.
Oh,
the panel's all he's like.
I don't know. I think he looks fine. I think that's a stretch, but
nope.
I will defend. Okay? I will defend.
I know, because you won't be biased or unbiased.
That's why you're here. It's a counterbalance. And vice versa.
What? I said I like Small Man. Also, this team never felt like a cohesive team to me, and now it's already falling apart.
It's already falling apart.
Everyone's like, yeah, I'm not going to be here anymore.
I think that's my criticism, and that's why this book is only an A and not an A+ for me, is that you're right. The team never felt like a team because we're already 12 issues in. And, oh, Gala's here. We're getting a new team. Everyone's going their different ways. You know, Sunspot's going to Araco. Rogue's taking off, and Wolverine's taking off, and what's her name? I just lost. That's just green hair.
Polaris.
Polaris is probably taking off. So yeah, last Silly Goose Award goes to the world's finest this week. We'll get there. X-Men, you know, I understand exactly what you're saying. I thought it was fun because I didn't believe that they got caught at issue 11, and it shows that they didn't, which I liked. I liked the redemption of Jean in this issue in the sense that she was able to save billions of lives even though she killed millions when she was the Phoenix. I thought that was a cool little redemption, you know, kind of snippet there. I like that a lot. Yeah, I think my criticism is I want this team to continue. I hope that I don't want them to break up, but we know that we're getting a new team in, or at least we would assume we're getting a new team in after the gala. But maybe it gets interrupted.
We are for sure. For sure because they said that they're voting. Polaris says she's going to leave it up to chance. She's not going to leave on her own. Rogue says that her destiny lies elsewhere because of Irene, because of destiny. Mm-hmm. Sunfire, literally the most underutilized character on the whole team that I was most excited about because he's really just not used a lot in mutant books. So he's gone. He says he's going to be on Araco. So I don't know. Maybe Al Ewing's going to play with him for a while. Cyclops is like, well, you know, they're probably going to kick me off the team.
I mean, if they kick, here's my thing. This is what I would love is if they kick Cyclops off and Wolverine actually dips, and then Logan says, you know what, I'm on this book, so Deadpool can have his own book and be in X-Force. I'd be happy with it.
What they're going to do is put him on this book and keep him in X-Force and keep him on his own.
Oh God, please don't do that. Oh my goodness. Please. Last, a lot of Gary X-Men just pins storylines while the book itself has no significance. It feels like a carry on from X Gala, which I like. which I still don't know why the mutants on Mars is such a big deal. Joe, which mutant would y'all like to have a miniseries on? Mine would be Cyclops.
Off the top of my head, I would say Nightcrawler.
No, let's say from this specific book.
Oh, from this book?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I think I know the right answer.
There's not a right answer.
I understand that. I'm just waiting to see what you say.
Polaris.
Okay. I want Jean.
Joe, I don't mean this to offend you, but like, my God, am I tired of the original 5? Or just like, I don't want to. I am so done with Cyclops and Beast and Jean Grey and Wolverine Logan and fucking Gambit, and I just go away. 60 years, 50 years, however long it's been. I mean, I'm just not interested in them. I am interested in like more strong female leads like Storm. I think Polaris. I said Polaris because I just know the least about her as a character. And I would have said X-23 Wolverine, but she's had a lot of books, so like, you know, there is something there at least.
Anyway,
Polaris has never had a miniseries.
Last
Rogue
Mutants on
would be a
Mars
great book.
was never illustrated to be a problem or why it was. Yeah, I want some Deadpool, please. I agree, Jaden. Calvin, I want a miniseries on Cypher. Okay. I want to see who she was hiding from when she was first introduced. Also, Oryx working with the mutants. What? Well, see, that's the other thing. The whole Sinister, like, this is the original Essex. I'm still very intrigued with that storyline as well in this book. I think that was still a massive, like, huge, like, bomb drop. By the way, Deadpool will be Captain America next. hey. I'm about it. Like, I'm about it. You know what? Yeah, that's who I want. I want Deadpool. I don't even know that he's had a million books. I still want Deadpool. I hope we get Sublime Beast other form. At some point, he's showing signs of going mental. Or Scarlet Witch. Yep. I'm just salty they started to mess with Beast. LOL. Yeah, I mean, he's been a freaking.
But it's not. I said Beast when I was going on my rant. I actually don't mean Beast because I like what they're doing with Beast right now, which I know is the opposite of what you're saying, Patty. But like, I like that there's someone out. Like, it's just an intriguing story to me that a guy that's just like doesn't give a fuck to the nth degree and just like will be brutal and just says no. It's no laws, no rules, no nothing. I think that's an interesting story.
I think you're correct, and you're on my side, and that means I'm winning. So thank you for that comment, please. Thank you. No. You're the best. All right, let's move on. Let's go to our next book, and that is Moon Knight, issue number 12 from McKay.
Loved it.
This was so close. This is like, okay, if we're doing like Marvel, DC, independent, then this is my Marvel pick of the week because this book was fucking awesome. Zombie Moon Knights.
Sorry, Joseph Thunderberg's grandma.
Oh my god!
For a miniseries.
There you go, Joe. You're right. Yes, we talked about that before. She had an entire week dedicated to her. Moon Knight issue number 12 is my Marvel pick of the week. The art from Capaccio was really good. McKay's writing amazing. The concept amazing. I want to see this in the show. If there's a Moon Knight series 2 where he actually literally rises an army of dead Moon Knights, please give me that. This issue was so badass. And then because if you watch the show, you know, and you're not a heavy Moon Knight reader prior to this run, what happens at the end? You're like, oh, I know what's going on because I watched the show, you know. And
I didn't watch the show, so I don't know what's going on.
His multiple personalities are popping out.
Oh, I know that.
Okay, well,
you don't need to watch the show to know that. That's
I understand that, but I just feel like I'm more connected to it because I've had that experience. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. This book was good, man. This was really good. I can't even, like, if you're not reading this run, you are doing yourself a disservice. Go out, get the trades, or if you can get the floppies, get them. This is a fantastic book, and I thought this issue is probably been the best issue out of the 12, and I can't wait for
shit.
more. I agree. The whole idea of them walking through that undead realm, and you know, guys, you know us. We don't like zombies. I'm not a zombie. I don't like zombies in my books, outside of whenever Donny Cates does something with it. That's probably about it. I'm just not a big zombie vampire, and that's what this book is. That's what Moon Knight is, and I'm loving it, loving it. And so when I got to see an army of undead past Moon Knights taking on Zodiac, and then the Hunter's Moon literally doing his brightest day, darkest night chant to calm them down, I'm about it. It was so good.
I also like that in this book we really subtly get to see a little bit of a F- character, Tigra.
Yes.
Just kind of hanging around a little bit. I think that's nice to have her included in there. But I think that whoever gets the credit for it, I don't know, but I think this issue was to me, I agree. I think that this is probably one of the best, if not the best issue of the series. And I think it's because they really let Cappuccio be the star of this, not the writing. They let him really beef it up, and I think McKay kind of took a step back. And to go from this panel, this full page, beautiful panel of all of the mummified zombie Moon Knights coming down to right next to the next page is a 2-page spread.
Yeah.
And literally between those 2 pages you have the only words you have is "not my fists," and that's it. It's a tiny little word bubble there at the bottom, and that's it. So 3 whole pages, 3 massive sprawling art pages, and you have 1 tiny word bubble, and I think that's great. I think that was what this issue needed. It needed the art to take over. Man, I really liked it. Really liked it.
Yeah, for sure. Getting back to chat, for sure like it. That's beast. So let's get back to that. So Patty says, for sure I like it. He's an actual beast now. Haha. Just used to like him as a teacher, a mentor, a little better back in some of the older stuff. Yeah. Joe, Stephen Grant is finally here. Totally. And I don't think it's the next issue. The next issue after that, there will be a convergence of the personalities.
It's
4.
It's issue 14.
Either 3 or 4. I can't remember how many there are. Is it 3?
And I remember, I don't remember. I think it's 4.
Okay.
But it's issue 14, and I remember because Jed McKay tweeted out the person that has DID that helped him write the issue.
Okay. Last, I love this series. This is what I wanted the Moon Knight series to be. The series, a character discussion, and the most of all a badass. Yeah, I agree. We know you're not. We know you're not a zombie. Sai, I guess I got to track down these Moon Knight books I haven't been reading. Yes, you do, Rich.
So good.
Tiger was in the Chippendale. I saw that. Yeah, it's literally a joke in that Chippendale movie on Disney Plus. Moon Knight comics better than destroys the TV series. At this point, I would agree. But I do think that the TV show lends itself very nicely. I think these go really well hand in hand. I think it helps you with the material, and for some people that's what it needs to be, and for other people they don't like that, and that's okay. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. Joe, so Moon Knight can only fly in the MCU. I mean, he kind of glides.
Oh, weird.
I don't think he can fly. I think he just kind of glides. He's kind of like Batman. He's like, whew, I glide.
Rich, by the way, I very distinctly remember seeing the first volume of Moon Knight at Ron's shop, next to all of the
Incentives?
No, it was next to all the Moon Knight omnibus, because he's got every freaking Moon Knight omnibus too.
Oh, sick.
But just the first volume of the trade, because the trade number 2 doesn't come out until September. But I also bet you he could probably help you find the single issue series too. If you want them in floppies.
For sure. All right, let's move on to DC with The Flash 783. How was it?
I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Okay.
I think if you ask me how was it as a Dark Crisis tie-in, I would say irrelevant. So, and I may be confused. I may be confused because I haven't read Flash in a few issues. I may be confused because there's something that I didn't understand. But for whatever reason, all of the speedsters are convinced
Take it easy, Calvin. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Thanks for being here.
Barry isn't dead. Barry's lost somewhere in the Speed Force. I don't know why they think that. Maybe I'm confused. Maybe I don't understand. I don't know. But in this issue, Wally gathers all of the speedsters. I'm going to need my DC people to help me out here. Who is this motherfucker in the middle with the white and blue? He's got literally one of the worst superhero costumes I've ever seen in my life. I literally want to gouge my eyes out in a panel from Young Justice that he is also in there. And I was so upset to see him again in this book too. I don't know who he is, and I do not like him.
Gosh.
Just because of his costume. So literally, but you can see we've got everyone assembled. I don't know who this gal is either. I don't know if anyone else tell me who she is.
Blue Mercury, Johnny Quick.
Blue Mercury or Johnny Quick. I mean, even if you tell me, I don't know. I
just
don't
reading
like
chat.
him, and I hope he dies, and I hope he never comes back.
Wow.
Or better yet, let's just change his costume.
Blue Mercury.
Okay, don't like it. Basically, Wally gets the gang together, and what is this really smart guy? I don't remember him either. He was in.
Quick. Huh? Jesse Quick. I'm just reading the chat while you're writing. Like they're saying
Quick.
Jesse Quick, Blue Mercury. Still don't know who that is.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They basically this guy. What is his name? The smart guy.
Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific. Yes.
He's cool.
He creates this portal where they're going to be able to jump into the speed zone or speed force, and he's located one of 3 berries. Only one of them is their berry. There's the other 2 are different berries.
Berry, like the berry.
Barry Allen. Barry Allen.
Okay. Yeah, you said berries. I'm like, what is it? Blueberry, blackberry, raspberry?
Barry Allen. Oh, Jesse Quick is probably the chick. Is what we're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. And Wally's family shows up and is about to see him off, and right before they do, his children decide that they want to be superheroes too, and they grab little readers and they jump into the portal. And his wife is like, yo, what the fuck? And Wally's like, whoa, these are kids. And so they all jump into the portal after them, and they get split up into teams to go find the kids. One team, which it consists of Wally and I believe it is Wallace, who's also on the cover here with us. They get into one area, and they see like a pretty normal Barry, but I don't know. We don't know which Barry's ours yet, or at least I don't think we do. And then what's her name? Jesse Quick and Blue Mercury, I guess, get sent to another area where we see like a Mad Max Barry driving a car. That was pretty cool. That was a lot of fun. And then the kids get sent to an area where it's like Barry Allen has like his own big giant tower, and it's like, I don't know. We don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But then you can see this scary Flash-looking guy behind them. But that's the last time we see them. So
isn't that like a Batman Flash? I thought I read somewhere on like.
I don't know.
I think it's like a Batman Flash.
If there is one thing I can tell you about my DC reading this week, I enjoyed all the books for one reason or the other. But boy, did I feel the uneducated DC reader that I am. I've never felt more lost than I have this week reading DC books. Just going, who are these people? What is happening? So this book was fun. Also, apparently, Wally's wife. Forgive me, I'm not trying to just refer to her that way. I just cannot remember her name.
Yeah. No, we get it.
Apparently, she's manifesting powers now. And she was trying to tell Wally right before their kids jumped into the portal, and she was like, shit, I guess I can't tell. But Mr. Fantastic finds out right away. So, you have powers manifesting? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, just tell him. He loves you. He's not going to do anything. She's like, I don't know how he'll react. And so that's weird. The cool thing was when we got to the weird alternate universe that Barry and Wallace are in, the art is different. Feels very like Silver Age-y, and is written in a very Silver Age tone. I thought that was a lot of fun. So there's 2 other issues that are tie-ins. I'll pick them up because I barely dropped the Flash run to begin with. This is a very easy issue to read. I'm interested, and the art was good. So I have no idea how this has anything to do with Dark Crisis at all. No idea.
And getting that, Joe says Young Justice and the Flash has just slapped a Dark Crisis logo to push this out, but I'm really digging the Flash. The Golden Age Flash and Wally at the end was so creepy. That was my fear. Okay, my fear was, and that's why I'm not doing the tie-ins. I literally had Young Justice in my pull, and I was like, no, I'm out. And that's my fear is that, one, what you said, Nate, and I'm not saying, like, I applaud you. I'm glad that you're going to continue to read them. But feeling dumb, I don't like feeling like that when I'm reading my comics. And there just being an inconsistency and just a very, if not the slightest of threads connected to the tie-in, like to the event, right? I feel like I've been burned, and I hate saying that because I sound like a lot of the channels on YouTube, which are like, don't buy the tie-ins, waste your time, I'll waste your money, right? But I'm just kind of, I just don't want it.
Let's go to the next one, and we're good. We'll continue with a lot of the same.
Okay.
I'll because you didn't read this either, right?
Nope.
Okay. So Joe already puts it pretty perfect for us. Said I think Dark Crisis needs to be dark and serious like this event, and so far, it's childish and light-hearted tone for the event so far, and I agree 100%. This has felt goofy and silly, especially with these two tie-in issues. So this is Dark Crisis Young Justice. I've never read anything by Young Justice that has Young Justice in there, so I don't know why I felt like I would belong here, but boy do I not. This is being told through the perspective of Cassie, who is Wonder Girl. I have no clue who she is in any relation to anything. Diana was her mentor of some capacity, but she very clearly gets irritated in here when people say that, because she's like, she was more than my mentor. So I'm like, was she like a mom to her, or like, I don't know. She like absolutely brutalizes Tim Drake on the second page, like absolutely brutalizes this dude. So she's talking about the other members who were at the funeral with her. Connor, this I was glad they did this kind of, because it kind of gives you okay, this is Connor Connell, this is Tim Drake Robin, and this is Bart Allen, who's from the future, but he's been here so long that I guess he's not anymore. But I have to read this to you. So when she's talking about Tim Drake, she says, Tim Drake, the third Robin, but the first one to choose it for himself, seems to mean he can't be anything else. He's stuck letting that identity be his entire personality, despite being unable to save literally every father figure in his entire life. What the fuck? Like, I don't know. I don't know what their relationship is. I don't know any of that. I just read that and was like, that sounds like something you would say to someone you truly hate. Like, not a teammate at all. But Young Justice gets together in the empty league hall, and it's Connor, Tim Drake, Cassie, Bart, and John is drawn in there for some reason, but he never speaks, and I don't understand John why he's there. What?
No, I just think it's funny.
And then some girl who was Arrowette, I don't remember what her name is now. She was there too, and she's like, nah, I'm not a superhero anymore. Don't talk to me. Y'all leave me alone. I'm out of here. And as they're arguing, the three boys disappear, and Cassie's like, wait, where are they? And the issue is basically interspersed between her going to everyone that's still alive, basically like, hey, the boys are gone, they disappeared, and they're like, no, they're probably just off mourning or being sad, like, they'll come back, they'll be fine, just shut up and go away, leave us alone, like, you're very irritating, little girl, please leave us alone. Like, it was awkward, like, it was awkward to me. And then it was Tim Drake waking up to Alfred, and him being like, hey, Young Justice is calling you, and then Bart wakes up to Wally, and again to this guy with his god awful costume, just the most atrocious costume I've ever seen, and he talks about losing Barry, and they're like, you don't know who Barry is, and then oh god, hold on a second.
Yeah. No, you're good. It's night time. Let's get to comments really quick. I skipped this one. I never cared for Cassie. Last says Cassie is the second Wonder Girl. She was popular during Grant Morrison's run as the Teen Titans. Okay, yeah, Blue Mercury is Max. Candle and has worked based besides Jay Garrick and Johnny Quick. Got those two mixed up. Okay. I don't know. I am just as confused as Nate. And you know what? I'll while he's taking care of his thing, taking care of his daughter. I will say this again to my hesitation to these tie-ins. Let's go back to our most recent Batman event, Shadow War, and the villain was like, if you didn't know your DC Comics, you don't know who this guy is. And that is very upsetting for someone that wants to be involved. And like you would think that a move like that would be like, oh well, that's going to make a new reader go, well, I want to learn about these characters and go back and read it. And I'm like, and in me, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
So certain writers can do that for me, and certain writers will really turn me off.
Right.
This really turned me off because everyone here was written like an idiot and an asshole, and I was like super irritated by all of it. It was written like these characters were supposed to irritate me. Like it felt like the writer wanted me to be irritated at everyone in this book. Literally, everyone in this book I am irritated at. Like even characters I like. Like I was just like, ew, like stop talking. And so I will not be picking up any more issues of this.
Whoa.
As the series goes on, I mega don't care. Super mega ultra don't care. Part of it's my fault. I don't know who any of these characters are, and I shouldn't have relied on this book to tell me. I need to be more educated on who they are, and maybe this book will be great in later context. But no. Every single one of these people irritated the shit out of me. I also don't. This book somehow tends to make them feel like they're just out of high school, or maybe even still in high school by the way they act. And this Tim Drake is a very massively different feeling Tim Drake than the Tim Drake I read in Detective Comics when Tynion was writing. And I really liked that Tim Drake, which was my only big experience to Tim Drake. So I don't like this version. Hopefully this isn't the way that most people write it.
Right. Last says Dark Crisis #1 had the tone this event needs to have, a feeling of not knowing but hopeful, but overall dark. Empire says you'd have to read some of the previous Young Justice series to appreciate this one. Not very beginner reader friendly. Too bad I don't care about this one because I love Superboy.
And see, that's part of the reason of my motivation was like, I want to know these characters. This is a perfect opportunity, right, to try to see what they're doing. I wasn't expecting this to be new reader friendly or to introduce me to who these characters were. But I was hoping that like I could learn who they were just by reading the story, like learn about them through their actions. And the only thing I learned about them in this book was that I don't ever want to hear this person write their voice again. So hopefully this isn't how these characters normally present. And I don't think it is.
Joe, we'll get to Black Adam at the end of the show. It's not in our official slideshow, but we will talk about it. So I'm glad you brought that up. All right, next up, we've got World's Finest issue #4. You called it.
Chips. Pick of the week.
That's my pick of the week. I just... last you said it was a silly goose time. It was a silly goose time. Whenever you can put a DBZ reference in a comic book, I'm here for it. Okay?
I missed that?
You probably did. Okay, here we go. This is how I'm gonna... Let me do my work.
Okay.
Fusion dance in DBZ. They have to wear the ring. They have to wear the earrings, and they fusion. Right. In this one, it's kind of an accident, but there's still a piece of jewelry. It's the Green Lantern ring, and they fuse, and they literally have a time. They have a timer to be how long they can be this kick-ass Batman character or Super Bat character, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Super Green Bat. And let's just pull it up so we know what we're looking at here.
Now, I see what you're saying, but there's no way in hell Mark Waid was intentionally referencing.
Oh,
Dragon Ball.
absolutely not, absolutely not. I'm not saying that he did. I'm just saying that's what it was like to me, and I loved it. What sold me about this was, again, it was a silly goose time. Freaking More, dude, get out of here, dude. Get out of here. Your artwork is fantastic. You know
what I don't get, just as a total aside. Mm-hmm. With you saying that, Dan Mora, amazing. We started the show going Kieran Gillen, amazing. How the fuck are we not reading Once and Future King or whatever the hell their book is?
Once in Future, because I need to go, like, it's because I know it's going to take time, and I am, unfortunately, and this is totally a self-inflicted wound, I am a floppy junkie, right? I that's how I like to consume these, you know, and we're just so far. What are they? 30 something issues in, something like that.
I think high 20s, like 28,
yeah.
29.
I'm gonna have to buy it in the hardcover and consume it that way. I want to read it, I really do. But getting back to World's Finest, this is what I would, and this is a total, like, I don't mean this in a insulting way at all, but if Donny Cates was to write a DC book, this would be it, right? But I'm not trying to discredit Waid, because I asked you, like, who's writing this? And you're like, Waid. I'm like, yo, this is it's just good, you know? And it's a silly goose time, but there's also like big action moments and big oh shit moments, and there's consequence. And this book, you know, I said it before, I was like, I feel bad for Hal Jordan, because he's always getting the short end of the stick, right? But dude, he was a badass in this book. Like, even though he was a villain, he was cool. And I don't know. I think what's amazing about it is that I just didn't know what to expect. And when it first got announced, we both were like, ugh, please, God, no. Right? Mm-hmm. And now it's one of our most favorite DC books. And
yeah, we were very wrong with this one.
Very wrong. And thank God Morrow was on the book, right? Thank God he was doing the artwork, because if he hadn't, I think we would have passed on it, to be honest. But I liked the issue. I liked that, you know, they used, you know, Batman used his smarts to figure out the Green Lantern equation of it. They ended up making a mistake and becoming this new superhero, and kicking the hell out of the demon. And, you know, it looks like we were getting some resolve, and then bang, we lose Tim Drake. Right? No, we lose Dick. We lose Robin in the time zone, in the time rift. And I'm just like, wait, what? No. And so when this issue ended, I'm like, when does 5 come out? Does it come out next month? Please, please let it come out next month. This, to me, is the excitement that I'm looking for in DC Comics. You know, and there are a few books right now in DC that I'm like super truly passionate about. World's Finest, and then the next book that we have coming up, and then obviously I'm anticipating Chip Zdarsky's Batman and Ram V's Detective Comics. You know, and I'm digging Tom Taylor's Superman, but you know, it's kind of up and down right now. But World's Finest to me is the best example of what a silly goose time should be. And when a silly goose time book can become your pick of the week, that's saying something, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I 100% agree. I don't really have a lot to add to this because, you know, to me, like, the story is fun, but I don't know that there's a lot of like substantive, like,
no
dissection needs to be done. It's just refreshing and fun, and it's not. I'm sorry, who said it? Patty said this book reminds me of classic stories from the Silver Age, but revitalized a little, and it certainly doesn't disappoint. I agree. This feels like modern interpretations of Silver Age style, and I think this has a big audience that it appeals to.
Les says, yeah, I know, I get it. Fusion, what? World's Finest is the best book of the week. I agree, Les. Rich, I want to see more of that character. He used up that ring power too quick, and that's the beauty of it. That's, you know, it's an overpowered character. If you ever watched DBZ, when they do the fusion dance, it's like, oh my god, this is the best power set ever, but you only have 15 minutes, you know. I think, I don't remember what the exact time is, maybe it's 20, but there's a time, you know, there's a time limit, and so you have to get shit done or you're gonna lose. And we saw that in this issue. I thought it was great. Cover B was also fire. I tried to find a cover of it, I could not find it. I'm sure I won't be able to find it. This book reminds me, oh, you already said that. Refreshing. Yep. It's basically a book for everyone that wants to just enjoy and have a silly goose time, and that's hard to do. I agree, Patty. Like, yeah, I agree. This is a fun book. If you're not reading World's Finest, which we know most of the people in our chat are, but if you're watching this for the first time, go get it. If you're just do it. It'll be hard to find, but you got to read it. It's super fun. Joe, I wonder how much Chip Zdarsky's Batman the Knight will appear in his Batman book.
Ooh,
yeah,
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully not too much because I'm not reading it.
Yeah. Let's get to Nightwing 93 from Tom Taylor. This was, if World's Finest hadn't come out, this would have been my DC pick of the week. I really liked this book. Again, because we're character building. I love the will they won't they between Babs and Dick. I love the love you, I love you. Just like, oh god, please just do it. Just say it already. I really enjoyed the end of the book with Heartless, and we're kind of getting a reveal about Heartless and why he's getting hearts. Pretty freaking cool.
So that he can have a heart.
Dude's
got USB-Cs on his arm.
It's so dope, dude. I don't know. I genuinely
HDMI and a display port.
He's got all the ports for the dongles. It was good, man. I loved him kind of strutting his shit with Blockbuster, right? Is it Blockbuster?
Mm-hmm.
And I liked Grayson, you know, showing up the cops and, you know, dealing with corruption as himself and not Nightwing. And then again, artwork fantastic. Nightwing it's just good. This was so close. If World's Finest had not been this week, this would have been my pick of the week. It was just good.
Parts of this book had a early run Tamaki Detective Comics feel to it, where we were way more focusing on the man than the mask. And I liked that. I liked that a lot. I thought that was fun. Yeah. Also, what's his name? Redondo? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Redondo.
Redondo. How's this guy just like keeps doing it? So quirky, so good. Like when he was running into the bushes, like that little panel of just like him running into the bushes. He jumps in the bushes and he comes out on. I don't know. Like that has so much movement and depth just in that small little panel right there. I thought it was really good.
I do agree with you, but I think I don't know. I feel like the build is much more makes more sense if that makes sense. You know, we have been dealing with the art since the beginning of it, but it doesn't feel old to me. It doesn't feel old to me like it does in his other book in Superman, where we've been dealing with Gamora and President Bendix or whatever his name is. I just, that to me, that's been over. It's just been, it needs to end. Whereas this feels like, no, I want to keep going. I want to learn more. I love the flow of that trajectory of the story. Whereas in Superman, it's just like, get over. Let's move on, please. But Nightwing, almost my pick of the week if it hadn't been for World's Finest.
Yep.
Something's Killing the Children. Cover of the week. No, I'm gonna do that at the end of the.
Why?
Okay, fine. Well, I have to pull everything up and. Black Adam.
Yeah.
Issue number 1.
Where
did you
told
say?
me to go out and pick this up.
I was gonna do it at the end. Okay, I did. Joe, I picked up Black Adam. The series is just okay so far. The writer likes to tell two stories at the same time, or the same character at the same time. It's too hard to follow. I liked it. Okay, I thought it was good, and so that's why I told you to pick it up. I thought it was fun.
Sorry, I was reading Patty's comments. So
what did he say? So random, but I want to see the suit fail like that in the comics. Okay. Oh wait, what's the other one?
No, he said my favorite part about the USB plugs and the guy is that in my mind, I pictured him spontaneously combusting because those USB plugs were installed into houses and stuff. They're like a fire hazard.
Oh, gotcha.
And Joe also on Nightwing said, I love this Nightwing book, but I realized that Tom T has been writing the Nightwing book for almost 2 years and hasn't wrapped up one storyline as good as it is. I'm ready for Nightwing to move on to new stuff. I can get that. I can get that.
Christopher Priest. Gotcha.
Christopher Priest. Yes. Christopher Priest is the writer of this book. I don't know Black Adam. I don't care about Black Adam. A lot of people on Twitter said, oh my god, the Black Adam book is so good. And I said, I will not falter. I will not sway. I have such a huge pull list this week. And then you went, oh, you got to pick it up. And then I picked it up. And I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
I understand that. But I thought it was outside of... Okay, so you don't get it because you don't get why it's good, or you don't get it because you don't know what Black Adam.
So is Black Adam like Shazam, where he's...
Okay, yeah. There's... So
I don't know Black Adam.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, then I understand why you're like, I don't get this. And that's fine, because I don't know much about Black Adam either, right? I just know that he's an anti-hero, but for the most part, he is the antithesis of Shazam, right? He's like the evil version of Shazam. But what it is it's not that... I don't know much about Black Adam.
He literally says Shazam to turn into Black Adam.
Correct. So there are...
But he's not Shazam?
That's the word you use to turn into this.
And why is Shazam called Shazam if that's the word everyone
Shazam's
uses?
called Shazam because Shazam wasn't supposed to be named Shazam. Shazam was supposed to be named Mr. Marvel or Captain Marvel. But that's a whole licensing bullshit. But I think he used that word before that. Like to turn into him, he would say Shazam. I can't tell you why that makes sense or it doesn't. And I'm sure we're breaking a bunch of comic book lore and people are yelling at us in the chat. From my understanding, there is a council of all these Shazams.
Okay.
Right? And they all have different colors and different sets. And so from my understanding, and I could be wrong, chat, fix me. Black Adam, and again, I would have to go on the wiki page and actually read it, but from my understanding of it, he is someone who has had the power, the Shazam power, if you will, for a long time. He's been the protector of his nation, and he's more of, I'm just going to protect my state rather than the world. So he's.
When you're referring to him, are you referring to him now as the kid with the burned arm, or as?
Yes.
Okay, so he's the president or the leader of his country.
I guess. I don't know.
He's like a weird punk.
See, I didn't know if
he's a kid or an adult with a burned arm and cane.
I didn't know that. Like that is new to me. I didn't know that he had that persona. So chat, let me know. Is that something that I'm doing good enough, Jim? Okay, I think good. I didn't know that he had a persona like Shazam, where like he could transform into a different body. I've never known that. So when I read that, I was like, oh, is this like a new take? I don't know. But he's always been, kind of an anti-hero, and he's more out for his country, the good of his country, rather than the world. If he, if that is being threatened during this massive event, then he's going to help. But if someone's threatening it, he's going to fight whoever to keep his country safe.
Okay. Chat's helping me a little bit.
Okay. So in this book, it's like he's carrying on, but then I guess he's dying, and so he has found somebody that is in his lineage of family to make the new Black Adam. I think that's cool, right? But I just liked the kind of the geopolitics of it when he was in, Congress and kind of defending everything, and then like the detective kind of saying like, no, you're wrong, it's X, Y, and Z, it's all these things. I was like, dude, that's fucking dope. Like, it's not just a comic book. Like, we're talking about things that everybody should know, right? Like, don't classify anybody into one specific category. That's what I really liked about the book. Do I like Black Adam? I'm indifferent in the sense of the character. Is he cool in Justice League? Yeah, great. But I liked the book itself. I liked the tone of the book, where it wasn't just a superhero book. We're talking about other things, and I like that. I like the inclusivity of it. So that's why I like the book.
Okay. This is a no for me. This is a big no for me.
That's okay. That's fine.
Does he have a name when he's not Black Adam?
I don't know. That's new to me.
So Billy Batson is Shazam. So he's a kid but then he's not a kid when he fights.
So Billy Batson has been given the power of Shazam from a wizard.
Yes, I got
Right.
that from chat.
So when
And
he turns-
that also happened to this dude. But this
Yeah,
dude's
I don't-
like forever years old. Like he doesn't age.
I
so
don't know
Billy
anything.
Batson's always going to be a kid too.
I don't know. I can't give you the answers to that one.
So I've always been super turned off by Shazam and Black Adam and that whole mess there, and none of this did anything to show me that I shouldn't continue to steer as far away from this bullshit as possible.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
like, I'm not interested. I've seen the movie. It was stupid. It was really dumb. I didn't understand it. This comic was bad. I will not be watching the movie. I'm not interested in anything that has to do with any wizards yelling Shazam that for teenage punks. Not interested.
Sorry.
No, it's
I thought
okay.
it-
It's okay.
No.
I've
Hey.
never made you buy
Hey.
a bad comic, but it's alright.
Listen, dude. I just thought I was like, dude, maybe Nate would like this. I don't know.
I was very intrigued by it being Christopher Priest because he's a lot of people that I respect to say he's a good writer. I've never read anything by him. He had a really long run on Black Panther that I'm interested in reading, but that's kind of what tipped me over the edge too. But no, just didn't do it for me.
Okay, that's fine. There you go.
That's-
I don't
his
think
name
Black
is-
Adam ages.
His name is Teth Adam. I'm so confused.
I don't know, dude. I just thought it was a fun book.
I don't want to say it's stupid and it be like cultural norm and I'm being an asshole, but like that just is. Let's just
move on. Let's just move on.
Let's get out of here.
Let's just move on. Tell me about Something's Killing the Children 24, please.
And Canon Teth Adam, yes, Billy is technically supposed to age up. The whole Shazam family. Shazam, there's a whole Billy's
Yes, I told
whole
you.
family.
There's different colored Shazam. Like his sisters are Shazam.
No. You told me there was a bunch of different people that go Shazam, and then they're kids that turn into adults. That
Please,
fight
someone
people.
clip that too.
You didn't tell me that it was literally his family.
I don't know.
Why
I'm
is
just
his family? I'm so like, I'm so much
I
more
can't
irritated at this.
answer you because again, we have very limited knowledge of DC characters, so I can't tell you who's a Shazam and who's not. And I don't know.
None of them because I don't care.
Okay, tell me about a book you do care, please. Jesus.
I will. Something is killing the children, and it was a great issue. But you'll notice, no pick of the week.
Wow.
I know for Something is Killing the Children, that should tell you something. This was still a good issue, but I don't feel like we did enough in this issue. This issue felt very feet draggy to me a little bit.
His foster family.
So
They're not related.
You
They're not
literally
blood related.
That is literally the only thing you could have possibly said to make me care even less than I was
His
already caring.
foster
Is that
family.
it's not even his real family; it's now his foster family.
Well, 'cause Billy
they just
Batten's-
happen to all
Billy-
find each other.
Because love. I don't know. I can't answer the question.
Billy's power, Black Adam is stronger than them if they share the powers. This is not. I don't fucking care. I'm so sorry, guys. If you're Shazam fans, wasn't he called Shazam like in that one Justice League issue too?
Yeah, they made fun of him. They called him Shazam, and he's like, "Shut up, my name's Black Adam."
Oh, okay. Was that just a Bendis thing? I'm trying to be funny. or
Yeah,
something?
it's just being stupid. Yeah.
So you know what's not funny, but is cool and scary is Something's Killing the Children. So
Belly monsters.
the issue opens up with us seeing that this town is still having its problem with the monsters, and I found it interesting that this monster had a belly with an eyeball coming out of it with sharp teeth.
Yeah.
On the cover, because in the House of Slaughter book, they're also manifesting a monster with a eyeball issue, where he's like eating children's eyeballs, which I thought was, but like, yeah, it was really creepy. This intro was probably one of the most creepiest intros, just because it was these kids in a pool, and it was very blue and dark, and the parents are like yelling and screaming, and then you see this guy over here, like creeping out from the back, and he's just like, "Hey kids, like, what are you doing?" And it's gross. But then we don't get a lot of build up. We get a lot of miniature little tinkles. So
Did you just say tinkles?
Tinkles, little titties, little tinkles.
Did you say TTs?
Titties and tinkles. So I don't see how I could explain myself any better.
Keep going.
PTs and tinkles.
Stop it.
So we see Gabby, whose family was murdered in front of her. She goes back to her house because she's a big dumb dummy. Oh, nope, I'm a liar. Now I'm understanding what's happening here. She is staying with that bartender, and she leaves and she walks by the hotel pool, which is where we saw the kids in the beginning, and it turns out, ooh, no bueno, they dead because there's a bunch of blood everywhere. But also there is Erica's little monster toy that her monster lives in, and she's like, hey, come talk to me. And so now she's talking to Gabby, which is interesting. I've always thought that maybe Gabby was going to end up as Erica's like protege that she like takes under her wing, and it seems like that's the direction that we're going under. I think that's cool because if you think Erica's kind of like a crass, abrasive person, like Gabby is much younger and much more crass and much more abrasive. So I like that. And then we have a short scene with Erica in the bar talking to the woman that I think it's Gabby's aunt or I don't know, something, telling her that, hey, bad things are going to happen. And then we finally get a last little at the house of Slaughter in Chicago, where remember they've got the woman that they called in that she's like the killer that's supposed to go hunt Erica, and you basically get a little bit more look into how sinister she is, because even the old man with the gold teeth mask, even he is like not pushing her, like she's kind of like pushing him and saying that she's gonna get what she wants, and he's like, yeah, no problem. Like, at one point he like is eating gummy bears, and she's like, oh, I want your gummy bears, and he's like, oh yeah, of course, just have the bag, and like gives her the whole bag of candy. So I think this is trying to build how badass this character is supposed to be, how feared she is among the Order of St. George. Anyway, it felt a little discombobulated. It was still a good issue. The art's still great. We did have a really nice little scary scene in the beginning. It just felt like 3 little mini stories almost kind of punched together, but with a month in between, it felt a little discombobulated.
Disconnected. That sucks.
I feel like we should have done 2 storylines over 2 issues instead of like 4 over there and then 4 over here. And,
right. Patty says a big dumb dummy. I love it. Yep, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to Shazam, Jaden says,
I really
no, I'm sorry, not JD. Patty says, doesn't every superhero have a super family in DC? The Bat family, the Flash family, the Shazam family.
Yes, that is true. I don't care about them at all, and the fact that there's more characters that are out there and I have the chance of running across them and I don't care about them makes me more sad.
Okay. Noctera, issue number 11. I feel like the ball got dropped. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna pop the balloon. I don't care about the granddaughter, and now she's basically the main character of the book, right? Like,
for sure. The whole entire second arc, she has been the narrator.
I know, and I've been extremely frustrated with it because I like the character that's on the front of the cover.
Val.
I like Val. I like her story. I want her. She's the one that we started it with, and then we're like, oh, now we're gonna follow her, this granddaughter. I'm like, I don't care about her. Yeah, she's good at math. Yay. I don't care. Like, it's always been about Val and her, redeeming her parents and her family and her neighbors and her friends, and it's like, I don't know. And then there are aspects of the book that I did like. Like, I liked the Blacktop Bill, basically double-crossing everyone because he's been talking to a cosmic god, and he's ready to ascend and evolve into something new.
Well, it's not that cosmic god. It's literally he's talking to the manifestations of the shadows, the shadows,
right? Which I liked. So I thought that was cool. And the oh shit moments of him like blowing people's faces up, that was pretty intense.
Yeah.
3 times. And then, at the end of it where they blow up the facility, they escape, Bill, is into some form of evolution ascension, and then Val is now I don't think she's a shade. She's like Black Top Bill. She's all black, right?
Oh,
that's how I took it. I didn't think she was a shade.
I could see how you. Yeah, I could see that.
Because you only see her teeth.
Yeah, and her light on her helmet.
Light ring. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So in my brain, she turned into what Black Top Bill is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that we're getting a third arc, but I just wasn't. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. And that's just me. I could be wrong.
So I completely agree. I think that there are two ways to review this book. I think there is the way to review the book what we wanted, and I think there's the way to review the book of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you covered what we wanted, because I agree. I felt that this arc was not nearly as strong as the first arc because we didn't have Val's voice as our narrator, and I think she's a much stronger character to carry the story. However, that's not the story that we're being given, and within the context of everything being told through Piper, I thought that this was a fairly good wrap up of this arc. Mm-hmm. So it seemed like Val found the location of Eden or whatever it is, the good place we're trying to find, right? And so she tells it to her, and she says, "You need to leave with that Adam dude and get out of here and go find it and forget about us." Well, of course, Piper doesn't. She breaks in. All hell breaks loose, and everyone starts fighting. I thought that was wonderful. The fight scenes were amazing, like you were saying. Multiple people getting their heads blown off. Like literally 3 people, 3 pages in a row, get their heads blown off. Loved it. Thought it was great. Piper essentially coming into her own and not being the scared girl that we were presented in the first arc, and being the one that will make the tough choices. I think this is showing her resolve changing over to leadership. Writing wise, it makes sense. It's good. She is becoming the leader through her actions. I think that is valid. Val's sacrifice felt forced to me. I feel like there could have been some other way. Like we could have easily written another way for her to have escaped, or just like thrown the flashbangs behind the door before they closed the door real quick, because they literally closed the door on her, or she closes the door tricking them. The sacrifice didn't feel like, literally the second she said like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll do this and I'll be right behind you," I was like, oh, she's gonna sacrifice herself, but she's not really gonna die. Like it literally was less than halfway through the book and I already realized what was gonna happen, and I don't feel like that was very strong. But overall, I think I'm interested enough to see where we go with the third arc. If we hadn't had this last page, or some kind of hint that Val was still around, I think I'd probably be done. Just not that interested. I still think what happens with Val is I'm way more interested in what is going to happen with Val than I am with the caravan making it to Eden or our good place. Mm-hmm. And I think that could either be the make or break of this book, and it depends on where Scott Snyder takes it from here.
And I'm afraid that they're just going to make Val the chase, and we're just going to get like one liner like "I'm coming," or like that's all we're going to get from her, and that's going to be very disappointing if that's the case, because Val needs to be the voice of this book. She's been the voice, and when we, like you said, when we went to Piper, it was like so solid B. All right, our last book of the night, Silver Coin, issue number 11.
That's Nate's.
Yay!
It's Nate's pick of the week, and if I had to pick an independent of the week, it would be this book, obviously, because there's only 2 for me, and it would be this book, because this book it never ceases to amaze. And then on top of that, you have James Tynion, Tiny Onion the IV, writing a horror book. This book was fucking brutal.
So I was very happy that we didn't have anything that had to do with people's thoughts manifesting monsters. I thought after Something is Killing the Children and
Department of
Truth, we were just going to have more people manifesting monsters through their thoughts. So good job, Ian, by breaking the mold. I don't know. To me, it's so hard. This whole anthology, it's so hard to pinpoint exactly what it is I like about it. There's this little, I don't know, this way it makes you feel like you know that there's a message here. You see the good and the bad, but you like, I don't know, just seeing the brutality of it all.
What I like about it, I'm just gonna jump in really quick.
Please.
Is every time a situation arises where the coin is there, as a reader, every time you're like, don't do it, just don't do it, don't say it, don't do it, and then they do it, and you're like, well, let's see where this goes, right? And sometimes it's subtle, and sometimes it's just absolutely outrageous. And in this issue, it's a little bit of both, right? You're like, and you know exactly where you're going the minute she says what she says, which is, I hope tomorrow we get a boatload of customers that are hungry, that are just fucking salivating at the mouth. And like, when she said that, I was like, ugh. Like, my brain immediately was like, so what are we gonna do? Right?
See, and then I didn't even think of this. This is not what I thought was gonna happen. So,
well, like, the minute we got into the panel where they were like, they just keep eating, and then the cook was like, I'm running out of meat. I was like, fuck, they're gonna start eating each other, or he's gonna start, you know what I mean, or he's gonna start cooking them. That's what happened, you know. Like,
that's
I
also, sorry,
go ahead. No, go for it.
I was just going to say that I found this book to be, I actually think this might be my favorite, or definitely the most intriguing of the silver coins so far. But I don't know if I can attribute that just to Tynion or just as a theme in the whole, as a whole.
Yeah.
But unless I can't remember correctly, this is essentially what I would consider our first innocent victim of the silver coin.
I would agree.
I mean, obviously, like, the chef was a innocent victim, but this was the first innocent handler of the coin. Like, this woman had no malintent, no maliciousness. Like, her business is dying. She can't even afford to pay for her employee. She is just saying, I want some customers. I hope they come in hungry. Tosses the coin away. She's like, I don't even care about this. Like, this is not, I'm not interested. I don't care. Right. She's not driven by greed or lust or anger or anything. And yet she's almost like the most heroic of all of our coin wielders, because she tries to get it to stop. She tries to stop our chef, and then she literally saves her employee, gets her out of there, tries to get them to stop, realizes that it's not, like, they're not gonna stop until they eat her too. So she just literally lights a cigarette and says, well, all right then, orders up. Like, I don't know. I found that incredibly intriguing, that this was really the first example that we had of the coin really reaching out and being evil without being manipulated by the evil from a human. At least that's the way I felt it. I guess you could interpret this as her being I don't know, gluttonous for wanting customers. I don't.
Yeah, no.
I find her to be a completely I don't know, neutral character, like not bad.
Patty brings up the camp girl in Volume 1. I don't remember if she had bad intent. I don't think she did either. I think she was just a victim of certain circumstance. I don't think she had.
I think she was driven by
being popular.
Well, she wasn't the popular one, right? Wasn't she the one that they made fun of and stuff? So, like, she was.
Yeah.
So, like, she could be innocent because, like, her anger was driven by, her being bullied. But, like, still, like, she was driven by the anger, right? I don't know. But you're right. That's a good example that maybe she also was an innocent victim.
I also liked the character that essentially gave the coin as a tip, and now he's kind of seeing what it can do. I like that kind of world building.
Yes.
I think it plays into what Michael Walsh did in his, one or two issues that he's done, where he's kind of world build the coin and like the history of the coin, where it came from like a lady that did witchcraft back in the Salem days, and then going back to the the coin calling and other characters from other stories kind of popping up. So this one felt very much in that same vein, which I like, and I like the fact that it was Tiny Onion that did it, and not that I don't like Michael Walsh, I do, but it just felt, it's good to see that there are other creators that are kind of jumping in that same lane where, this is an anthology series, But as we continue to read it, there are more of these issues that kind of feel like we're building this multiverse of the coin, you know, and just one big world.
Yes. And, you know, we obviously don't know the creative process going on, exactly how much. Because, you know, this is essentially Michael Walsh's book, and he's inviting these writers on. So he could be, you know, editing them or telling them what they can and can't do, or, you know, just letting them run free. But I find it interesting to at least the thought that we are creating a history or a storyline that is built almost like the game of telephone. Like, you have no idea. Like, no one's talking about what they're going to do. Everyone gets to do what they want, and then just passes it on to the next person, and then the next person gets to do what they want, and then just interpret what the people that came before them thought they were trying to do. I find that incredibly interesting, and it has been amazingly successful so far. So
yeah.
I think we're on issue 11, and we've had at least 4 or 5 issues be pick of the week.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's going to do it for Two Fat Guys Pullist issue number 94, or sorry, 93 is next week. 93, or episode 93. We appreciate every single one of you that is here currently watching this live, and we appreciate every single one of you that is watching this as a past episode. We could not do this without you. So again, we say it a lot. I know it's probably very tiresome, and some people will probably unsubscribe because we've said this, but please hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, give us a like. We can't do this without your support. We can't do this without your viewership, and we appreciate every single one of you that watches us talk about comics every Sunday for no damn good reason. Let's see. So we've got New Comic Book Day coming up this Wednesday, but we'll be dropping that video on Tuesday at 4:30 Central Standard Time, so make sure to watch that. I think we're going to try to review the last episode of Kenobi at some point. We just had, a lot going on Friday, Saturday, and today. So keep an eye out for that. We will try to get that out here.
He tried to kill me.
Exactly. So we'll try to get to that. I can tell you right now, I don't know. I know we need to review episode 3 of Marvel Girl, but I'll just tell you right now, just like preliminary thoughts. I thought the episode wasn't as strong as it could have been. I'm just saying that, just like there was a lot that they tried to put in there. That's all I'm trying to say. Like the genuine family and wedding part of the episode, absolutely loved it. The lore of what are they called?
The Djinns.
But what is the comic book term that they're called? It's an actual comic in the Marvels. It starts with a D, or I don't remember. It's
Djinns. Yeah, DGINN. The Djinns.
Yeah, but they're also called something else. Hold on. Now I'm going to do this. Hold on. Everybody, bear with me.
Patty, I think what you're thinking of is Love, Death, and Robots, which I haven't seen, but I really want to watch.
Give me a sec. So the Djinns, but they're all the Djinn. I don't know how to say that word.
Just pretend like the D isn't there. The Djinns.
But they're called something else. She said we're also known as this.
The Clandestine?
The Clandestine. So there's an actual comic called The Clandestines.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So that's the Marvel bit. And I just felt like they were really trying to shove the concept of this, because it was like, hey, we're good, we're your family, and then immediately, hey, we're evil, we don't care about you, and I'm like, wait, what? I just
wait a minute.
Yeah, we're going in two different directions. I liked the episode, but I just feel like Marvel and Feige were really trying to push a lot of concepts onto us in episode 3. I don't know how many episodes. Is it a 6-episode series, or is it more than that? I don't know. But we'll see. I liked the wedding. I liked the family. I liked it collapsing a little bit when, her parents were like, did you pull the fire alarm? I loved all that. But I don't know. I was just a little... Episode 3 definitely was a little bit lower on the spectrum compared to the first 2 episodes, which is very rare. Usually by 3, you're kind of like, we're just moving up. And I feel like they were trying to elevate, but there was just a lot of concepts, in my opinion, that were shoved into that episode that I think could have been explained a lot better. Like, they could have stayed neutral or good guys, the Clandestines or the Djinn, for the whole episode, and then they could have kind of turned by episode 3. You know what I mean? Like, it was like 180 halfway through the episode, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Clandestines. You ready for She-Hulk, Jim? Absolutely, and I don't care how bad the CGI is going to be. If it's,
I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think people overplayed that.
I agree. But anyway, let's get back to it. We're ending the show. This is the end of the episode. We'll see you guys this Wednesday or Tuesday in the evening for New Comic Book Day, and then we'll see you back here again live this Sunday, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, talking about next week's pools, and then I'm sure we will have an episode 4 review of Ms. Marvel on Friday. So keep an eye out for that, and who knows, maybe we'll actually do solicitations for September. We got a lot on our plate. We'll see. No, but there's some cool stuff in there.
No, there's not. It's very bad.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Read more comics. I'm thrown off. Read more comics, guys. We love you, fam. Be kind to one another, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye. Where's my mouse? Bye, guys.
Oh.